Hi and welcome everyone, this is the Hobo Prepper and I am Friar Tuck. Thank you for joining me. Okay, so today I'm going to be sharing with you some things that are going on behind the scenes. Normally I save this for Patreon, but I think that you as subscribers need to kind of be prepared for what is coming down the pipe as far as the type of content that I am doing. So, one of the things that I was talking with my mentor about today is, he's asked me with all the stuff that I've been sharing with you and teaching you and showing you, what is your take on this? And one of the big things that I really that I've come to the realization is that the world is not what it seems. The things of what we see in the public face, whether it be from the mainstream media or even the alternative media, the information that is being disseminated, in some ways is propaganda for various entities within within different departments, different areas that have ulterior motives, whether it be for funding, whether it be for profit and greed. It could be for a lot of different things. But the world in which we are having portrayed to us, that we are seeing as individuals, especially as preppers who keep their ears to the ground, is not what it seems. And so, I had to make a decision is, how do I, bring a unique view to the prepping community? How do I help you guys as individuals be prepared for what is coming down? And, a lot of this stuff, as individuals, we, as much as we would like to say we can change things, we can't. That's why you're being a prepper. That's why you're preparing for the future, because that eventually what's going to happen is everything will break down, whether it be the rule of law, whether it be the degradation of society, whether it be the degradation of government. All different things may happen, and you need to be prepared. But there are also other things that are happening that we as a society are not fully aware of, because we're stuck in the moment instead of taking a moment to look at the big picture. And so, as far as the topics that I'm going to start talking about, and as far as the things that I'm going to be bringing to you guys as preppers to help you guys become better prepared, it is going to be the things in which I'm learning, not only from my mentor, but from the research that I'm doing. Because, just like with the Meyer material, he says, yeah, I will tell you things, but it's up to you to do your own due diligence, to go do your own research. And I'm going to be talking about that as one of the different topics as time goes along. But last night I wrote down 10 different topics that I'm going to be covering over the next little while, so that once my my Patreon migration is finished, that I can start creating new content, okay? And just so you guys know, the new relaunch of my Patreon has happened. I would strongly recommend that you come on over and take the 7-day free trial, see if you like the content. If you do, become a subscriber, because this is going to help fund the things that I am doing in the future. One of the things that I'm really trying to do here, with this channel, is to be self-sufficient, so I don't have to keep asking for tips in my tip jar. Another thing that's going on is there are now, you will now have the opportunity for Bitcoin. Okay, so if you want to donate Bitcoin now, it's not going to be used as cash, it's going to be used as barter and trade. So if you want to donate Bitcoin and fund the channel that way, I now have a Bitcoin wallet, and it is something that I am learning, because again, this is a huge learning curve for me. But let me give you guys some of the topics that I'm going to be talking about. One of the things, so from Meyer, he talks about how there are still a couple of sciences that we have that are undiscovered. And one of them happens to be the science of the spirit. Now, this has nothing to do with religion. This has to do with how we as humans are made. It has to do with how the mechanics of the universe works. There is no dogma behind it. It is just something that's designed to be understood and to be worked with, not something that you can, form a religion around. And so, I'm going to be talking about emerging sciences. I'm also going to be talking about facts versus fiction. because again, we have a lot of stuff that's going on in society, and we're taking the fiction as fact instead of taking the time to do our own due diligence to figure out what it is that we're actually doing as humans. Which then another topic that I'm going to be talking about is the human condition. A lot of humans, what they end up doing is they want to look at the now instead of looking at the bigger picture, as well as other things. And plus, you guys know that I've been learning Linux and learning and understanding Linux, as an operating system. And as somebody who was trained in Windows, it is something that I'm finding out in a lot of ways I was duped. We're all being duped. The fact that we own nothing and are happy about it has been happening for years. They just decided to bring it public. Okay, so we're going to be talking about the benefits of open source software, what it brings to you, how you can actually have your own security, because your own digital privacy and your own digital security is going to be something that is important moving forward. So, this is something that we as individuals really need to start taking into account, especially as preppers. Another thing that I'm going to be talking about is emerging technology. I got to play around with a 3D printer at the library the other day, and from my laptop, we made some kickstands so that I could raise my laptop up and keep it cool. And we used a 3D printer to make it, and the process was fun. And I will be making a video for that, but that's going to be in the Hobo tutorials when on Patreon. But I will be talking a little bit about emerging technology. Also, the opportunities for migration, why you would want to migrate. We're not talking about war, we're talking about economics here. And, you as a person can, I guess the easiest way to put it is that you're in a region, and if that region isn't benefiting you because either pay or opportunities or culture, these are one of the many reasons on why you should migrate. And so I'm going to be talking about that. And we're also going to be talking about something else. We live in a limited liability society, and this is something that you've heard me talk about quite frequently, is that, with a limited liability society, it's all about the benefits without any of the consequences. That's why they call it a limited liability. So we're going to be talking a lot about self-accountability, learned helplessness, and, and just how we as a society have become, a society of victimization. We're also going to be talking about what's really happening with the own nothing and be happy. As we have put Linux on my OEM machine, I'm learning that I don't even own the hardware. I haven't owned the hardware. There are and I'm going to get more into this. These are topics. I'm just kind of giving you a kind of like a teaser or an understanding of what's going on. Plus, the World Economic Forum and Klaus Schwab, he has said that we are in the middle of a fourth industrial revolution. And, a lot of people take that as, yeah, he's just a crackpot. He's working for the elites. But there is a lot of truth to that. And so what I'm going to be talking about is the fourth industrial revolution and kind of how it's affecting us and, what it means for the future of the workforce and what it means for the future of us as a global society. And then I'm also going to be talking about starting a business. One of the things that I learned many years ago is that working for yourself gives you true freedom, because you're always going to be working for somebody, okay? You will, whether you're working for a client or whether you're working for an employer. When you're working for a client, you're making more than if you're working for an employer. But it also gives you the opportunity to create a quality of life that the average worker doesn't have. And there is a lot of misunderstandings and wrong think that goes on when people talk about starting a business. And one of the things that I like to brag about is I started my janitorial business with $20 and the equipment I had on hand. And I want to be able to pass that knowledge on to you. So what this channel is really going to be working on and what it's really going to be focused on is more opportunity and solution-based topics to help you prepare and navigate for the future that we have before us and what's coming before us. A lot of the stuff, as much as things we would like to sit there and stop it unless we come together as a collective, as an American society, because, you know, I live here in the United States. You know, as an American society, unless we come together when it comes to politics and voting, instead of being on the red versus blue mentality, because, you know, those blue guys, they're stupid, or those red guys, they're stupid. You know, and the thing is that is division, and the more divided we become, the more I forget what the word is, but the more we get sectioned into groups, the more divided we become, the easier we are to control. So it's about taking the time to get away from the dogma of politics, the religion of politics, and to be able to choose your leaders on a case-by-case basis, based upon the solution, by holding them accountable. And it starts at the local level. That was one of the great things about this Constitution that was created, is to have is that we were meant to be governed at the local level, not at the national level. However, post-Civil War, that has changed. And so these are the topics, and this is the things in which I'm going to be talking about in the future. And these are just the next 10 topics that I have. Now, one of the things that my mentor and I are working on, because I'm having trouble with some of the issues with the monetization. You know, yes, I'm getting paid on the ads and stuff, but there are verifications that I have to go through, which means that I have to receive mail, and the mail that's supposed to be showing up isn't showing up. And so I may not be able to, although I'm collecting, or I'm making money off of the channel as far as ad revenue, I may not be able to, you know, continue with the monetization process. So I have to have a plan B. You should always have a plan B, and all the way down to plan Z. And part of my plan B is that we're building a website in which, you know, not only affiliates links and affiliate marketing is going to be done, but we're also going to be having the tools. I will be talking about tools as part of the content, so that you as an individual can use those tools, and I will be able to provide them on this website. Now, you don't go to the website now. I'm sure you could, if you did a search, you could probably find it, because it is a public domain. We've already got the domain taken care of, but there is it's still got to be built. We're in the process. That's why I'm having to write a lot of content, and you know, the free time that I have, so that because I don't have to make the videos, you know, it is you know, I'm using that time to be able to write the content, so that we can get the website up and running, and so that we can use that as a secondary platform, especially if the verification card that I'm waiting for from Google doesn't show up, which means in a couple of months they're just going to unenroll me from the YouTube partner program. Okay, so there are some obstacles that I'm facing, but, you know, I want to be able to bring you guys quality content, and as part of my reward for bringing you this quality content, I should have an opportunity to leverage it and to get paid on it in one form or fashion, whether it be commission, whether it be through my tip jar, whether it be you guys coming over to my Patreon community, or many of the other different ways that you can do it. But if you really want to help this channel grow and reach the audiences it needs to reach, I do ask you to like, subscribe, and share, and hit that bell notification to be notified of all the videos in which I create, so that you know, we can grow this audience, so that we can create a following, so that we can get a larger group of people prepared for what is coming and what is already happening. Okay, so thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.